Tune in to About contains discussions of plot points, character arcs, twists, endings, and other details from the television shows being reviewed. If you haven't watched the featured content and want to avoid spoilers, we recommend watching it first before continuing. You've been warned. Now tune in and don't say we didn't tell you. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Tune In and Tube Out. I'm Clean,
I'm Frenchie.
and today we got a lot to unpack. We've officially crossed the line where Cape Fear isn't just a psychological thriller anymore. It becomes a full-blown descent into like manipulation, family secrets, cult-like behavior, and some of the most uncomfortable television we have watched in a long time. Tell me, do you feel the same way, baby?
I definitely do. I think everybody's walls are just kind of caving in on them. Max is kind of losing it. Anna's losing it. Tom's losing it. The kids are going crazy. So yeah, I agree. They definitely are descending into just absolute insanity.
Yeah, and I mean, today we're going to be covering episodes 4 through 7 today, and there's some huge reveals, especially towards when we get towards the end. Max continues dismantling the Bowden family piece by piece. Nevaeh proves she's every bit as dangerous as her father, and Zack has spiraled into oblivion. So,
Yes.
there's going to be a very interesting conversation that we're about to have. There was some weird stuff that went on, but we're going to start off with episode 4. And episode 4 was an interesting one, and some of these things may not be in order, but these are some of the big stuff. And one of the biggest things that happened is that Max kissed Anna.
Yep.
He kissed her
And she
in
like she didn't
public.
like it.
It was like all too familiar, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You know that, and like it was interesting because they're sitting in this park, right? You know, and they're having this conversation, and like she asked him like, what do you want, or something like that,
Yeah.
and he just like he just went right in for it, like he's done it before.
Yeah. It seemed like her reaction was more shock than discomfort. It seemed like she was more shocked
Yeah,
that he did that in public with all those people around more than, "I didn't want you to do this." Yeah,
yeah, and like it didn't feel like their first kiss either.
yeah.
Like we've been saying, it definitely feels like something like you said, like it's oh, I can't believe you did this in public. And they could be people watching, especially knowing the fact that everyone is recording everything that they do.
He's a celebrity,
And she's the
and she's in the
lawyer.
news. Yeah,
Incredible. So like, but this also adds into the mystery about what really happened between Anna and Max in the past. And it's like it starts getting questionable, and you start really thinking like, wait a minute, like there might be actually something here. And that scene itself was just like so weird because like again, they were just talking, having this like aggressive conversation, and he just went for it.
yeah. No, definitely, he's messing with their minds a lot. I think everybody's kind of trying to manipulate each other, in different ways. And Max is just so aggressive with it. He really is just so aggressive with it. But also, Tom and Anna's reactions are different to everything that he does. I don't know. I feel like as a parent, I'll be going off.
Yeah.
I would hurt this man. I don't care about my reputation at that point. This man is trying to destroy my family. Just weird reactions as parents, I think, from them.
Yeah. I
Very
agree.
strange.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Um, you know, but but then it begs the question, has Max been attracted to Anna, manipulating her, or is he doing both, right?
Yeah.
This is a question that we all have as viewers right now, because in this moment, it was incredible just to see this type of action take place, because he felt like it.
Yeah.
He just absolutely felt like it, you know. And then we start learning more about this. There was Anna's death row case with Ruben Ramirez,
Yep.
and that literally Ruben is like 2 weeks away from being executed. And a witness named Smiley, he could clear Ruben by telling the truth, but Smiley refuses to cooperate. And Anna goes to his house, and he's like into reptiles and shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, so he's got like a whole bunch of tanks and stuff, a whole bunch of animals, snakes, turtles, and so I think it's all snakes. Yeah, I think it's all
Yeah,
snakes.
it stinks.
But like, you know, Anna kind of confronts him about it, about the situation. I believe the situation was a young girl died at a party or something like that, and Ruben is being blamed for it. But that Smiley was one of the witnesses, and he pulls a gun on her, takes her phone, and then he drops it into the snake tank. And you know, after that, she goes right to Max.
Yeah. She's like, "I need your help."
Yeah, what like do you think that this was the right move?
Well, I I don't know, but I will say she feels comfortable enough going to ask him for help.
Max, right?
Max. And if she was so incredibly uncomfortable with the situation that she's found herself in, I don't think she would do that. I mean, I
I
think that
agree.
she's just continuing to create conflicts of interest throughout the show. Um, I really struggle. I really struggle with this show on where which side I'm on. I'm not on any of their side, but I'm really struggling to see who the bad guy is in this show at this point in the at this point. Episode 4 is where I'm starting to turn like, is Max and Tom really worse than, I mean, is Anna and Tom really worse than Max, or is Max worse than them? The kids have become crazy, which we'll talk about later. Obviously, we know the reason
Yeah.
why, but I really struggle with it because she has no problem crossing those lines. No problem crossing those lines. Like no hesitation. So it brings back to the attraction with Anna and Max, the whole manipulating scenario. I think it's just for them like a lust thing maybe in the heat of the moment during their
Yeah.
trial, and now
Also, like, it also begs the question too, how far she would go to save an innocent man's life too, you
that
know?
too. That too. But she didn't go that far to save, well, if we think if Max is innocent in this story of Cape Fear, she didn't go above and beyond to save an innocent man then. If he was innocent, which I'm still not really buying, but it's like she's picking and choosing here. And I think she picked and chose with Max because there was something there that she knew she had to hide. Yeah.
I agree.
She was
And then
double
like
dipping with Tom and Max.
yeah, and then right after that, Max goes over there,
Yep.
and then Max says he knows Smiley through their shared connection through Santeria.
Yep.
And he first talks about like persuading Smiley, like he does that manipulation, like that nice guy bit
Yep.
where you know he pulls you in and stuff like that. And he's like he's calling him brother this, and then he says that if persuasion fails, he can compel him. And you know, Anna knows that Max, you know what Max means, but still leaves him alone with like she knows what he's about to do, and
Exactly.
she allows it to happen anyway. And like he kills one of the snakes and then forces him to provide the statement and then gets Anna's phone at the same time.
Yeah.
And like this is important because like at this point now, Anna has now saved Ruben's life.
I
Is this a good result to justify Anna's actions, or did Max successfully bring her down to this level? Because now she's breaking bad.
Yep.
Well, now we're seeing that. Now we're seeing her like maybe like it's like an old like habit she used to have. Right? She is a lawyer. You know, maybe she's been manipulated by, you know, we don't know what her history is with some of these with some of these people that she has worked with, and
Yeah.
we also know that Max is super manipulative. So that this is another thing to think about. And but yeah, so we'll move on now. And so Tom is drinking now alone in a bar, and Max approaches him, and Max shows him this drawing that Zack made of his unborn son. And
Crazy.
Tom is fuming, you know, and Max talks about wanting to know his child and wanting his child to know him. And the conversation sounds more like a threat than a confession. And Max may be hinting that the Bowdens were somehow involved in the death of his unborn
Yep.
child. And this is an interesting scene because once again, he's using that like that friendly, let me pull you in and let's have a conversation ordeal. And again, he just in the end just sounds threatening. And then like the people from the backyard show up too again.
Yep. I know, that was weird. That was very strange. Yeah.
And now I'm also more curious to know now what did Anna and Tom do to Max? Because we still don't know. And how does this unborn child connect to it? You know?
Yeah.
Because this is another thing. He's having these like hallucinations of his son who's like older.
Yes.
I think that's
Like
a
if he
little
never died. Yeah.
yeah, it's super weird. It's super weird. And then we learn that Tom hits himself when he becomes emotionally overwhelmed.
What was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Um, we've seen this before.
Well, now we know where Zach gets it from, because he has very self-destructive tendencies and,
Yeah,
self-harm tendencies. Well, there's a lot there that goes deeper than that, but yeah. Yeah, there's some stuff going on there.
yeah. So we're seeing this as Zach has shown the same self-destructive behavior. So it's hereditary. We know this. That there's the science that backs it up. And then Tom continues telling Zach that his brother died in a car accident, which we know as the viewer is not true. We know that his brother unfortunately took his own life, and that is something that Tom is suffering with. And Tom was the one that found him, but Tom refuses to like discuss this even with
Yeah,
Zach's therapist. And like the therapist asks about some of his trauma, and he just completely shuts down and
like,
fires her.
"Nope, we're done." Yep.
What do you why do you think he doesn't? Because we've had conversations like this before, personally with other people and each other, about our feelings, about talking about things that make us feel the way that we feel sometimes. Why do we think this is beyond me? Why he's not talking about it? He should be seeing a therapist himself because this is heavy shit. And it doesn't even sound like Anna knows.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
I just think that there's a lot of shame sometimes behind that with families that have to deal, with a loved one dying of suicide. It's a terrible thing to say, but it's human nature. A lot of
Yeah.
people will feel shame, especially in the community that he's in. He's a man of, he's a lawyer. He's got a little bit of power and a little bit of a reputation to try to hold on to. Even though, let's be real, Anna and Tom's reputation not too good in
No,
the personal
absolutely
in the
not.
personal side that maybe the public don't really get to see. I think it just has to do a lot with shame, and maybe there's some tendencies like we spoke about that he has in himself, that maybe if he speaks about them, he feels like it's just gonna kind of compact what he's already feeling. From Tom's demeanor, I'm thinking that's probably why. I hope that's why, and nothing deeper than that. But yeah, that's what I think. And
Yeah,
it is
and
affecting his marriage and his children. Tom's
yeah,
untreated trauma. They
yeah.
see that. We know as kids get older, they start to pick up on things. They're starting to say, okay, maybe something's not right here, or what happened here that's made him like this. So it's definitely affecting both his marriage and his children, for sure.
Now, do you think that he's protecting Zach by hiding this, or do you think he's making it worse by not talking about it?
I think in the moment he's protecting him. I think that he's Zach is going through a lot. Um, some of it's things he can't control. And I think in this situation, it may be best to, I don't know. It's tough because you want to speak about it, but what is that really going to do for Zach in this moment? Because he's already so emotionally detached. He's just erratic in his behavior. I don't think telling him that story or being honest with him in that moment. I mean, shit, you're lying already. You've lied the whole time. You might as well just keep this lie until shit blows over with Max, because Max has got a chokehold on him.
Yeah, yeah. And then, Zach, so Tom wants to like hang out with Zach.
Yeah.
And he brings like these fishing poles to him, and Zach is like, let's go to an art show. And so when they get there, you hear like a commotion, and then you find out that Zach tricked Tom into driving him to that girl Sophia's art show, the girl that, he wanted to apologize for leaking her private pictures, and he insists that he never meant to cause this much damage. And Sophia and her family reject the apology, but Sophia later briefly unblocks Zach just to tell him that she will never forgive him, and she also tells him that she believes he is a bad person. And now Zach's got some issues. Do we think that he's genuinely sorry,
I
or
think
do you think that he doesn't like being viewed as a bad person?
I think both. I feel like there is a sense of apology there, but the fact that he keeps crossing boundaries makes it set up like he's just really upset that he's being viewed as a bad person. I think because things are coming out with his parents, he's starting to learn things that maybe they're not good people. Maybe I'm a bad person like them. So I hated that he did that. I really hated that he went to that art show and that he keeps pursuing Sophia. You made a choice. You made a choice. It sucks that you did it, whether you're sorry or not. Her and her family have asked you to leave her alone, and you keep persisting her. Like you keep pursuing her. And that is what really bothers me about him. So I'm going to take the latter of the two. I think there is some, um, remorse and regret in him, but I think that it's mostly because he does not like being viewed in any light that he can't paint. He doesn't like to be viewed in a bad way. And if he can't navigate through that, like if he can't dictate that narrative, I think that bothers him, which again, he takes after his parents.
Yeah, and then after the confrontation happened, Tom found Zach in the pool.
Yep.
And like Tom thought that Zach was trying to kill himself, and Zach says he was only performing breathing exercises
Yeah.
recommended by his therapist. And then that's when later, like Zach received the Sophia's final message and broke down. And the episode made us believe that he was going to hurt himself.
Yeah.
And instead, he gets another phone and he contacts Nevaeh.
Yep.
You know, so during this whole time, we're also finding out that Ray has discovered that Nevaeh Valentine is actually Amber, and then finding out that Nevaeh is Max Katie's daughter.
Yep.
And so Max reportedly fathered her during a relationship with a prison nurse, and she was deliberately entered. She has deliberately entered the lives of both the Bowden children, so, which we've been seeing the last couple episodes. And Natalie and Zach do not know like who she is.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah, so uh, very weird stuff happens from here on in because Nevaeh pulls Natalie away from the soccer practice, and like, here, do you want to talk about this one for me?
Yeah. So Nevaeh basically manipulates Natalie. She pulls her away from soccer practice. She pierces her nipples and they begin making out. They start to form a sexual relationship. Nevaeh 100% is navigating this. She's the one that's leading this. Um, she then disables the alarm at Callie's house and breaks inside. And then she puts Callie's clothes and uses Natalie's feelings for Callie to manipulate her. So she's really creating chaos in Natalie's life. And she's already going through it, Natalie. She doesn't know who her father is. She's like, is it Tom? Is it my biological father? So she's at a point where she's gonna be manipulated by this young girl who's giving her attention that her parents are not giving her. So that, the manipulation is very real on Nevaeh's part with Natalie and her friends. And then when Callie's father, so she puts Callie's clothes on, she uses Natalie's feelings for Callie to manipulate her. And when Callie's father unexpectedly returns, Nevaeh is prepared to attack him with a knife. She's crazy. She's unhinged. And that whole scene plays out. And she's not just, why this matters is because Nevaeh is not simply a rebellious teen, going through the motions of life. This is all very calculated. She's very dangerous. She's very willing and excited to use violence in her life. Um, and who could not believe that that's not Max's daughter with the way that Max is, just in general in his way of walking, talking, and being. Um, does Nevaeh actually like Natalie, or is Natalie only part of Max's plan? I personally think it's all a game. It's all a
Yeah, but
game.
but we're also finding out that if Nevaeh is actually Max Cady's daughter, then there's gonna be some stuff that we're gonna be talking about towards the end of the episode that really make things really fucking weird.
Yep.
And then she targets Zach.
Yep.
She gives him more drugs. Zach turns to her after Sophia refuses to forgive him, and now is involved with both Bowden children without either of them realizing it.
Yep.
Like now, like this is getting crazy because we thought that she just wanted Zach, but then like she started getting closer to Natalie, and now it's like everything is put together.
Yeah.
And then let's see. Oh, so that's right. Max went to go. He went to go buy a car,
Yep.
and the salesman didn't want to sell it to him.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So like the salesman knows stories about Max infidelity and emotional abuse, and then Max, like he says that he slept with the salesman's wife, and like he tells him about himself, and then like you could see him Max later stalking him wearing heart shaped sunglasses.
Love those glasses.
Um, so I mean, he's not gonna kill this guy, obviously, but like he's like really psychologically destroying people.
Yeah. Yeah. I think because of what has happened to him, I don't know, because for me, I feel like he was like this before prison. I don't know if he was completely institutionalized before he got in there. I think that type of psychological warfare. I mean, for the time he was in prison, maybe he developed that, defense mechanism. He was getting attacked in prison a lot, but I just think he loves the cat and mouse game of psychological warfare. I really do. I think he gets off on that. He likes seeing them shook because of what was taken from him. He's going to take these people's sanity. He is there to create chaos in their lives. 100%.
Absolutely. Now, the mysterious woman, which is played by
Yes.
Juliette Lewis, this mysterious character once again has confronted Anna, and she appears to be another woman from Max's past. And like the things that she's saying suggest that Max has like manipulated and abused her too, and she accuses Anna of becoming another one of Max's women. And she may also have witnessed Max kissing Anna in the park.
Oh,
So
yeah.
is she trying to warn her, or is she trying to get Max to get revenge against Max? Because there's some weird shit going on here, and
Yeah.
this is how the episode ended. And like episode 4, it showed that Max isn't only trying to physically hurt the Bowdens, but he wants to corrupt Anna.
Yeah.
Like he wants to expose Tom's secrets and use his daughter to manipulate Natalie and Zach. And by the end of this episode, Max and his daughter have found a way into every member of the family's life.
Yeah.
So it's real coordinated and it's real scary. So episode 5 was even more interesting. So why don't you take over for this one and talk to us about what happened in episode 5?
Okay, so this episode is called To the Devil a Daughter. And this is an interesting scene because they're in a movie theater, and Nevaeh Amber, she actually takes over Max's famous theater movie from the original film, where she's just again she's still known to Amber as Amber to the children, to the Bowden children. She's watching a movie in the movie theater and she's just being so obnoxious. She's laughing, she's being really loud and disruptive to everyone around her. It's very obvious. Everybody's very frustrated, and this recreates the famous theater scene from the 1991 Cape Fear, except the moment now belongs to Max's daughter, which is very interesting. She's kind of taking over the role of the devil you don't know, I guess. It establishes Nevaeh as more than Max's assistant, as she's becoming a major threat, even to herself. She's really spiraling as well. I don't think that the mental illness is real with that one. And is Nevaeh naturally like Max, or did Max deliberately shape her into this person? We don't know.
If I had to guess, I think that she just did so much research and just, you know,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
like that she found out who her father was and was just like it was just instilled in her who she had to be. That's just an assumption and a theory from me. It could be anything.
right. Now on the back side, Anna has been tracking Nevaeh. She tracked her to the movie theater. She's now sitting in the back watching Nevaeh do all this crazy stuff, and she confronts her. She goes up to her, and concerned that she's becoming involved with Natalie and Zack, her children. Nevaeh, of course, intentionally provokes Anna with graphic comments about her children. She says some really foul shit. She does. She does say some really foul stuff. The confrontation becomes physical outside of the theater, and Nevaeh steps into the road and is struck by a passing car, although she does survive because you can't kill the evil. And the entire incident is recorded and spreads online very quickly. There's many people with camera phones
Quickly,
very quickly.
quickly.
The kids
It
see it quickly.
it looks like Anna pushed her into, well, she kind of like shoved her towards that
Yeah.
direction and
She
like,
wasn't intentionally pushing her into traffic.
yeah.
It just happened that and maybe Nevaeh kind of flung herself a little bit back a little too hard. She's crazy. She doesn't care if she gets hit. She knows she's going to survive it. She's crazy. Um, but yeah, Max and Nevaeh are provoking Anna into publicly destroying her own reputation, which we already know there's already stuff brewing about her. People are already talking. People are now curious about the case and why Max got incarcerated, why Anna and Tom got together. So there's a lot of provoking there, and they won. They won. They got what they wanted. Anna's video is circling. It's going viral. So because of that, because of the confrontation going viral, Anna is suspended from her nonprofit job. Her actions now make her appear extremely unstable and dangerous, which we know it's all self defense, but that's not how it's looking to the public eye. They don't know what's going on in the background. For viewers that don't watch this show, they're not the general public, as we know, especially with social media, they're not really hyper aware of what is really going on in the background. And what's really going on is that this guy is torturing these people. I think she was completely justified in coming for Nevaeh. This is the type of parenting that I'm expecting to see from Tom. This is the type of confrontation that I'm expecting to see from both parents. Because if you are going after my family, I am going after you. I don't care about my reputation at that point. If I don't have my kids, I could care less about my reputation. So I think she's completely justified in confronting Nevaeh. She did walk into a trap. 100% she did. She probably should have taken that into consideration, but at that point, you were in a public place. You knew what you were doing. You knew what could have potentially came from it, and unfortunately, it did. Um, and Natalie is really going through it. They're now watching the video. Natalie and Zack have seen it. They're seeing what's going on. Natalie knows now that Amber is really Nevaeh.
Zach and Natalie see everything. They
They
are
see everything.
constantly
Yep.
like keeping tabs on their parents, like
Yeah.
every single day.
Well, they know that there's a deep secret there that these two are not telling them. So now that's already, as a kid, when your parents are lying to you or keeping secrets, it is a kid's duty. They're going to make it their duty to find out what that is and hold a grudge.
Yeah,
So
and what's even crazier too is like there, oh my god, this all happened like 10 years ago, and it's all like coming full circle, and it's coming back to bite them in the ass really bad.
very much.
It's
Yeah.
really bad. And
Karma. The show's all karma.
yeah,
Yeah. So obviously now Zach and Natalie both know that they've both been seeing Max Katie's daughter. And then again, despite those revelations, Natalie is still interested in Nevaeh. She's like, I don't care. I don't care who you are. I accept you for who you are.
Stockholm syndrome.
It's very scary. And Natalie does appear more than angry about her parents than ever. The secret, the lies, it's a lot. There's a lot compounded there. And then Anna and Tom's refusal to explain their complete history with Max is definitely pushing Natalie away from them. She is she's gonna make some moves soon. She's gonna make some crazy moves soon because she wants to know the truth. Are
Yeah,
Anna and Tom's secrets becoming more dangerous than Max's lies? This is what I'm saying. I don't
it's
know
happening.
which is the lesser of two evils at this point, because on one hand, at least Max he's not straightforward with it, but they're hyper aware of what he is trying to do to them, even though he's like, I'm not doing that. Oh, Nevaeh is just some crazy girl that wrote to me in prison and was obsessed with me and insisted that that was my daughter. At first, he's denying all of this. He wants to make it seem like, no, you're going crazy, but they know what he's doing. He's put them in this position. He's put Nevaeh in this position, and she is running with it. I don't think Max Katie could say anything to her at this point to make her stop what she's doing to the Bowdens. And then on top of that, Zach is continuing to spiral worse than ever, worst possible scenario. He's remaining emotionally unstable and appears to be under the influence pretty much most of the time. He's taken substances. He physically fights with Natalie and also has a very weird interaction with her. There's some weird shit going
Yeah,
on
no,
there.
there's something weird. Like, why is Zach doing like getting so close to her?
It's incestual. I don't know what it is. It's crossing many lines. Those parts really do make me uncomfortable. The actor who plays Zach, I have to give him props because he does a really good job at making me feel extremely uncomfortable in a lot of situations. Probably
He's
more
got
than
them
Max, Nevaeh, and Natalie.
crazy
He's got
eyes.
crazy eyes. He does. He has crazy eyes. But Zach has started following. Oh, that's right. Zach also intimidates Anna during a confrontation, and
Yes, he did.
she's definitely taken aback by his words and his actions. He is. He's becoming. He's completely mental. He's lost it. Like there's no hope for him at this point, from what it seems. Zach has also started following an unusual religion that Max created while in prison. You know, we've seen this through the episodes. He spoke about it with Smiley. It's Santeria. It's to me,
It's like a spin-off of it or something like
hmm,
that. Like
it's devil's work. It's devil's
yeah.
work. I'm not saying all Santeria is devil's work. The specific subcategory that he's practicing is definitely to harm people, to get revenge, which is not what it should be about. You know, it should all be in love and light. He is not. He is definitely using it to do really manipulative and bad shit. So Zach has started practicing this religion. Nevaeh appears to practice the same belief system. Um, and Anna finds Zach holding one of its religious idols. It's a little idol that he has that he was given to by Max. We now know that Max gave him this idol, right? Wasn't that revealed? Yeah.
Yep, it was.
So he's very deep into this. And for viewers that don't know or don't have any ties to any type of Santeria or witchcraft, once you start it and you are in it, you are in it. It is very hard to get out of it, especially when you're using it for bad. So Zach is deep in something that he knows nothing about because again, this is something that Max and that he created. So we don't even really know. Max is the one who really knows. He's the one moving the pieces in this
With
religion.
whatever
Yeah,
connections
with
that
that idol.
whatever, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
interesting because Zach is suffering a serious mental health crisis at this time. And it's like they're getting deeper into the point where it's making the mental health so much worse than it actually than what we're seeing,
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
And then we spread over to Tom and Lexi's workplace problem.
Ugh,
Tom and Lexi, this is the most one of the most
so
uncomfortable things
disturbing.
in the show too,
Yeah.
because like he's we've seen this in the last couple episodes. He's
Yeah.
inviting her to the house, and then things
To
are
his
getting
house.
yeah, where there's cameras, one,
It's
you know, I
enraging.
not that I'm saying that that makes it okay. What I'm saying is like you're blatantly putting like you're not hiding it.
No,
You
not
don't
even good.
care.
Not even
Yeah,
close.
you don't care. Like you're okay with this woman. Like you're okay knowing that your wife and like why doesn't she show up when Anna's there? That's my
Right.
question, you know?
Right.
I think that's an important question to ask too. So that blatantly says that they're a little bit closer and like
Yep.
he wants Lexi off the case and she is like, "Nah, like how could you?" And like the client made a comment to Tom and her about it,
Yep. Yeah.
and that's what and so Lexi believes the client wants Tom's attention for herself, so there's a little jealousy, and then she
Definitely.
demands that Tom defend her position on the case,
So
and
ridiculous.
then she threatens to report their inappropriate relationship to human resources if Tom refuses. And this could obviously damage Tom's career. Let's talk about this real quick. Where do you fall in line? Do you think that her using this relationship to damage his career? Obviously, it's inappropriate, right? But like, do you think that this is a move, like a positive move for her to
I
try to?
I feel like it was always building up for that. But she knew he was a married man. She openly came into his house and was disappointed when they didn't have sex. Like not even kissing. He was like, we're not doing this. You could see she was genuinely offended by that. I think that she's a homewrecker that enjoys doing it and will use anybody as leverage to build herself up. I mean, go off, sis, because he's the one that's ultimately cheating. He's the one that's married. But there's no dignity or respect there. There's no dignity or respect in the whole relationship. So how could Tom expect her to not do that? Is my point. They're both wrong.
Oh
But
yeah,
she's
they're
the only
both
one that's going to
absolutely wrong.
benefit from that. She's coming forward. She was being honest. I mean, he shouldn't have done that. Tom is the one
He
who's,
I agree.
you know,
He shouldn't. She shouldn't have went to the house. He should have never invited her. They should have never gotten close in the first place.
yeah,
I think it's actually kind of wild that she is waiting for a situation like being taken off a case to use that as leverage
absolutely.
against him.
Yeah.
That right there is like, oh shit, that's a fucking crazy power move, you know?
Yep. And he fell right into that too.
Yep. So what happens? What happens after this?
So I think Tom is thinking that if he gets closer to Max, that he's gonna reveal this big plan that Max has. So he tries to befriend him. Max continues to conveniently appear anywhere that Tom is. He's clearly stalking him. We now know. I don't know if we discussed this. Max has moved right across the street from the Bowden, so literally they look out their kitchen window and it's Max's house. Tom does decide that keeping him close might help him understand what Max's ultimate plan is, why he's doing all of this. So he buys Max a drink, thinking that he can manipulate the situation. The two eventually move from Tom's upscale regular spot to a dive bar. And by the end of the evening, they're laughing, they're drinking like they're best of friends. They're just cutting it up. Um, and then Max successfully lowers Tom's defenses. He's definitely opening him up. He's getting him a little loose. Again, Tom is trying to manipulate Max and he fell right into Max's trap. Like he just keeps falling in his traps.
Max is like 10 steps ahead of
So
him.
many steps ahead of them. He's been planning this for 10 years in prison. He's every step of this, I believe, he's planned in prison. Um, so Max does he encourages Tom's anger, definitely. He fuels off of it. Tom complains about his problems at work without specifically identifying Lexi, but definitely letting him know what's going on. And Max encourages him to stand up for himself and behave more aggressively towards whoever's accusing you of doing this. You need to fight back. Um, and basically, he's like the little devil on Tom's shoulder. He's just sitting there telling him exactly how to feed his anger, what his anger wants to hear. He's already seen Tom with Lexi, so he more than likely knows who Tom is referring to. And he understands more about the situation than Tom actually realizes. Tom is just spilling this shit out. And Max is like, I already knew that, but thank you for giving me the tea. So he is just using this. And is Tom only pretending to befriend Max or is he genuinely beginning to enjoy Max's company? Because from my point of view, he was really cutting it up with him. And I don't know any amount of liquor that would make me befriend someone like that so genuinely after I know they are deliberately intend to hurt my family and go after my kids. Um, did Max and Tom have a relationship back in the day? Like, it's so crazy how they're just cutting it up with him. Uh, it's a lot. It's crazy. So they're in the bar. Two men who previously tried to use Tom's pool, the crazy guy and the girl and the other guy, they're also at the bar. And surprisingly, they do not appear to recognize Max, suggesting that he may not have sent them to the Bowden's house. Who sent these people? We got a trifecta of
There's a
crazy
whole new
people.
plot hole right
We got
now.
Juliette Lewis, we got Nevaeh, we got Max. Who sent those people? We don't know. To me, it seems like Juliette Lewis's people. They seem a little bit more unhinged like her. So Max starts a fight with one of the men just outside the security camera's view. Just outside the security camera's view. He then steps away and leaves Tom to finish the fight, who is directly in camera view. They're catching everything. It's captured on camera. Even though Max caused the confrontation, he has now set Tom up. So now Tom and Anna both are on camera fighting or creating chaos.
Both on the internet, both on the
Both
news.
viral. So Max once again creates the circumstance while allowing a Bowden family member to take the blame. Um, If Max didn't send these men to Tom's pool, who did? We just discussed it. I
Yeah,
personally think it's the crazy lady, Juliette Lewis. She's so good at playing a crazy woman. I love her so much. She's such a good actress. She really makes you believe it. Like, is she loony like that in real life? Because she does it so well.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know who sent the men to Tom's pool, but who knows? Who Max has is entangled in so many people. Tom and Anna are entangled in so
I
many
wonder
people.
I wonder if that was like someone that was associated with his acid plug.
Maybe because we do know that he's got a very serious. He's
Yeah.
got a stash. He
That's a
microdoses.
theory, right? Or that's a
Yeah,
theory.
we
That's a
don't
good
call it
one.
addiction when we microdose, but he microdoses.
Yep.
So who knows? So now Anna's suspended. Tom gets called into work the following morning. He's suspended. But his suspension is not necessarily because of the bar fight. Um, it also isn't directly caused by his kiss with Lexi or their microdosing, but Lexi received a crude and threatening voicemail that appears to have come from Tom. And I love that they put this in because this is real life, people. You need to start realizing what's AI and what's not AI.
Yeah.
So Tom has no memory of leaving it. Was it AI? Was he microdosing and had a bad trip and just left her a voicemail? I don't know. The episode strongly suggests that Max somehow created or planted the message. So we're more on the side that it's AI and he's created this because Tom is just flabbergasted. He's like, I did not leave this message. I did not cross that line. I would never do that. They don't care. They're like, you're done. You need to take some time off. So now both Anna and Tom have lost control of their careers. They're
Wait,
both
I just realized something. If it was a voicemail, that means it came from his phone.
yeah, but I mean,
I think about it.
but what if somebody But somebody sent it in though, is the thing. I don't know how somebody would have access to that, but somebody sent it to the boss. So,
It was in her phone.
oh, it wasn't her phone. That's
It
right.
was in her
Yeah.
phone. It was a voicemail. He
Yeah.
may have actually done it. I'm starting to think he left the voicemail.
It's possible. I mean, she could also just label a contact Tom and be like, "Look, Tom left me a voicemail. He's got a burner phone." There's many scenarios that could still be on Lexi's side.
I'm
Um,
starting to really, but yeah, the dangers of AI, right? Because
yeah,
this could be another
this could
factor.
be that. Yep.
Oh my
So
God.
Max is basically he's still legally untouchable. Nobody can pin him for anything that he's gotten the Bowdens into, that he's gotten Anna and Tom now suspended from work. Well, both him and his daughter. Um, how could Max have created the voicemail? And does Lexi genuinely believe Tom sent it? I think it's all a setup. I think it's all a ruse. Maybe it was Lexi
Like maybe she was
that
paid
she did
off.
it. Maybe she was paid off. We now know that Max definitely saw them together. So he's very hyper aware that Tom out there cheating. So yeah, he could have set that up. He could have paid her off. Um, so we're moving on. Anna is obsessed with finding information about Nevaeh. So she contacts her mother, Faith. Ray refuses to help Anna continue investigating Nevaeh. He previously was helping her. He got her the name Amber. He gave her all the information, and he's like, I'm out. I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I suggest you stop doing it. She doesn't. So she decides to contact Nevaeh's mother, Faith herself. And Faith previously worked for the corrections department,
Which is Juliette Lewis.
which is Juliette Lewis, yes. So she became involved with Max while he was incarcerated. After the relationship was discovered, Faith lost her job. He loves getting people to lose their jobs. And Max abandoned her once she was no longer useful to him. She's out of the prison system. I have no use for you. Be gone with you. So Faith tells Anna that Max changed Nevaeh after getting into contact with her, which since we know he's very deeply entangled into his version of his Santeria, his whatever witchcraft,
Yeah.
and she's
And
now into it.
yeah, and this is when we realized that she was manipulated and she was molded into be just like Max.
She's terrified of her daughter. Faith wants nothing to do with Nevaeh. She's,
Well, what happened right after that?
yep. So Nevaeh goes and intimidates her own mother. They're showing her Faith is frightened and physically battered when Anna finds her. And she's frightened and upset because she's like, you are going to bring her here. You're going to bring her back here. Your presence is going to bring her back to my house. This just shows how completely the power dynamic between them has reversed. At one point, I do believe Nevaeh and Faith had a close relationship, and I do believe that he, probably took her away from Faith. So she's no longer able to control or protect her daughter. So she would rather just please leave me alone. She's like, please leave me out of this. This woman is crazy. Does Nevaeh fear Max though? Does she worship him,
It's a
or
good
does she
question.
genuinely believe in what he's taught her? That's the question. Is there going to be a point where Nevaeh can snap out of it? That's what I'm very curious to see. Is she going to keep spiraling down Max's rabbit hole, or is there a way? Is there some say, is it like Pavlov's dog? Is there some kind of snap or phrase that's going to get these people out of this spell that Max has them under, with these idols, and you see him praying and worshiping? Eh, Is she ever going to snap out of it? Is Faith going to risk her life to snap her out of it? Is there anything she can do to protect her daughter? We don't know. I don't know. I think Nevaeh is a lost cause, but we'll see. And then some crazy shit goes down. While Anna and Tom are searching the house, they're hearing noises and they find a tunnel that leads to a room that Nevaeh has been staying in. Nevaeh has been living in these people's house. You see a little bed, makeshift bed, her backpack, her signature backpack, so we know it's her, and food. Somebody's been feeding her, somebody's been housing her, and it's not Anna and Tom. I don't think it is. So that was crazy. Um, so by the time Anna arrives, she's gone. Anna finds Zack she finds his missing toe at this location. And then this directly connects Zack to Nevaeh's activities and hiding place. So both Max and Nevaeh have Zack under a very, very
Yeah.
tight
A
leash.
lot of full circle
A
moments
lot
in
of full
this episode.
circle. Yeah. I think Nevaeh's involvement with Zack is even stranger and more dangerous than the family has realized, clearly. Um, And why did Nevaeh keep Zach's toe? What are they doing with it? I think that's what's keeping control. I think that piece of him is what is keeping control over
Oh,
Zach.
like what's the word? Like a totem of
Like a
something.
totem, yeah, like something. I think that's there. When they take hair and they burn it, like in Weapons, she was taking the hair and putting it around a stick and cracking it, and that was creating chaos. I
Interesting.
think that that's a representation of their religion, like something that they had to sacrifice in order to gain control over him. I'm thinking that that's what it is. Um, so Anna returns to Faith's home. She discovers her dead. Faith has been brutally killed with a blunt object. Three
Yes.
guesses at who did that.
With
Literally,
the
three guesses. Could be three people. Who knows? Who knows who did it?
yeah, it was
Um,
with the religious idol
It was with the
that
religious
Zach
idol.
had.
Exactly. So that's the murder weapon. And this does create evidence that could potentially connect Zach or Anna's family to this murder. So instead of immediately calling the police, Anna panics and runs. That's the smart thing to
Such a
do.
great lawyer.
She leaves after getting Faith's blood on herself and other surfaces, which means her fingerprints are all over that crime scene. Why this
How
matters
could
is
you be so stupid?
you're a lawyer. You went to so much years of school. This is why sometimes book smarts doesn't equate to the street smarts. You have to have some common
They're
sense.
good.
You are in a crime
This is how
scene.
this story's gonna end. They're gonna end up in jail.
Ma'am, you are in a crime scene. I think it is how it's going to end at this point,
I
or
mean, if
people dead.
anything, Anna is definitely going down for not reporting that.
Absolutely. So it leads us to the point: did Nevaeh kill Faith? Did Max arrange it? Did Zach do it? Was someone else completely involved? We don't know. Um, Long live Juliette Lewis. Love her. Sad she was killed. Max confronts the mysterious woman. So Juliette Lewis's mysterious character approaches Max at the bar. This is kind of going back now right before we
Yeah,
realize it,
yeah.
before we realize she's dead. And Max takes her into a private room where their interaction becomes it's very weird. She's like doing some tantra shit on him and like kind of
They're like they're practically having like public sex in a
it's
bathroom
yeah,
without
they're
having
grinding on
sex.
each other. It's very violent and threatening. It's very weird. And she says she hoped that they could hurt each other again. So this relationship is clearly based on just pain. It's just pain. It's
Very,
all
very
toxic.
toxic.
Very
Yeah.
toxic. Max calls her delusional and says that he would never love her and threatens to kill her. Despite his anger, Max appears to accept her claim that they communicate through dreams. She says, I knew you were coming. I seen you in my dream. I talked to you. We did all this in our my dream.
And he says that was you?
That was you. So he's hyper aware that, oh shit, she might have connected with me. How else would she know this if it wasn't her connection
Yeah,
in that
agreed.
dream? And her scar and knowledge of Max's childhood abuse suggests that they do share a very traumatic past. Very traumatic past. So did they grow up together? Because there's definitely a connection there for the past. And the episode does hint that this woman may be Max's half sister and that they may have been abused together as children. However, that relationship is still just a theory, and it hasn't been confirmed. I don't know if it's going to be confirmed now that her character's killed off, but very toxic. I have the goosebumps. Their relationship is so unhinged. It's just, God, nothing that would ever want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Um, and then this is when, so Max does it. He moves across the street. He approaches Natalie while he's walking his dog. At first, Natalie's like, I don't know, but she approaches the fence. Anna and Tom see him and order him, go home. And he's like, okay, that's my home. Right across the street.
It's a nice house
Right
too.
across, it's a beautiful house. And so now he can watch the family constantly, while claiming that he's just simply living in his own home. That point right there just goes to show you that he's deliberately doing this. It's all intentional. Because why would you buy a house across the street? Why would you do that? You are egging these people on. You are just grinding their gears up, and he's doing it very well because they're falling right, and all of them, the whole family's falling into his trap. So yep, episode 5, it
Yeah.
shows Max bringing down the Bowdens without completely breaking laws. He's doing it very smart. Anna lost control. She got suspended. Zack's
Very
pulled deeper.
tactical.
Tom's manipulated, Faith's murdered, and it just gives Max a very easy open. Max and Nevaeh, very easy open to continue manipulating this family. And the biggest question moving forward, did Max and Nevaeh frame Anna and Zack for Faith's murder? How did the family collapse? And did they plan this in advance? Was this all planned? Are they going on a whim now? Have the Bowdens changed anything that they now have to shift? I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. And
We don't know.
we're gonna find out.
Yeah.
So now moving on to episode 6. We finally got a little bit of Max's prison religion explained, right? So like we got some flashbacks revealing more about the religion he created while he was incarcerated. And although it contains elements of Santeria, Max has transformed it into his own personal belief system. And his spiritual mentor, which they named him Padrino, he's like an older elderly man. So I guess like some would call the pod boss in some perspectives.
Right.
He previously sat with while Max was attacked in prison, like he just watched it happen. And we actually learned that Petrino actually directed the Aryan Brotherhood toward Max because he believed Max could be attacked without consequences. And after embracing the religion, Max kills Padrino, and then he promised the gods that he will eventually offer them an entire family. And that's when we start really thinking, oh, he's talking about the Bowdens now.
Yeah.
And like, I kind of think, do you believe that he genuinely believes in his religion, or do you think that he created just to justify his violence?
No, I think he genuinely believes that this is, and look at what's happening. How could you not believe in everything bad that he's doing? It's happening. So that would make a person believe. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then like while this is happening, the Bowden family they're completely divided. None of them trust each other. Anna suspects Tom is having an emotional affair with Lexi, which is true.
Yep.
Tom suspects Anna had a sexual relationship with Max, which we're
Yep.
still
We don't
investigating.
know.
Natalie no longer trusts her parents or Zack, and Zack believes he doesn't belong in the family. Everyone is hiding something right now, leaving
Yep.
Max with multiple ways to manipulate them. Literally, the doors are open for the devil to come in. It's not safe there.
Yeah.
They have completely been, what's the word? Compromised. They've been
Yeah,
compromised.
they've been compromised. Yep.
You
Yeah.
know? And then like Anna realizes that Tom's relationship with Lexi went beyond the normal professional connection, and it made him vulnerable to Max's apparent AI generated voicemail scheme.
Yep.
And now the voicemail has resulted in Tom being suspended from work, and Tom has also been hiding more of his drug use including his LSD tincture. So while Max is destroying the marriage, the problems are being exposed on their own.
Yep.
Everything is coming out. And then, like, after attempting to speak directly with Max, Tom became convinced that Anna is hiding a sexual history with him. I kind of feel like he would know something like that
Yeah,
already, wouldn't
yeah.
you?
I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I think for Tom thinking that though, I think it's a lot of guilt on his part. He's guilty for
Yeah,
what he's doing and
I
he's
do believe
projecting.
I agree with him.
Yeah, he's projecting. But do I think that there was a relationship there? Yeah, I think there was. Yeah, I think there was between Tom and between Anna and Max. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like she reminds Tom that she was pregnant. She was like, "I was pregnant at the time. Do you think I would have an inappropriate relationship?"
Girl, what does that mean? Come on.
While she was having an inappropriate relationship with Tom already at the time.
Right. Like you were already in an appropriate relationship.
Who was the opposing counsel?
Yes.
So, but like she does not clearly deny ever having sex with Max at another time. That's the part right
That's
there.
the problem. Yes.
Oh, so like she carefully worded the denial, but like she still kept the door open to like kind of reveal like they hooked up,
Something happened there.
you
Something
know?
happened
So
there.
like now like Zach is Zach is repeatedly acting as though he doesn't belong in the Bowden family anymore. He
Yep.
and Tom is like openly questioning Anna's past with Max, and like these details raise a possible question about who is Max's biological father now.
Yes.
Now
Yep.
we're starting to have questions, but here's an important
And
clarification.
Natalie's.
Yeah, now, but here's an important clarification though. The episode does not confirm that that Zach's father is Max. This is only a theory created by the clues and through the behavior that is going on. And so, it's genuinely making us think that Max could be Zach's father, or are they misleading the audience? And then the craziest thing happens right after.
Insanity.
He has poured LSD into the iced tea.
Oh man. And they
Okay,
all drink it.
they
It's a
drank.
hot ass
No, they
day.
were chugging that shit.
Yeah, they were chugging it.
They were chugging it like fucking Oscar Isaac with the period orange juice from Beef season
Oh
2.
God.
They were chugging it. Okay, like
Yeah.
they consume it. It is hot as hell outside. The air conditioner isn't working, and they're going in. I could go for an iced tea right now too. By the
Me
way, I'm not.
too.
All right. And so like Nevaeh has sabotaged the air condition, but this isn't confirmed. Like I think it was her. But the entire family begins hallucinating and they start losing control. And Zach appears to have been using LSD for some time, and he's been behaving erratically. So now this is starting
Yeah.
to make a lot of sense with him.
Right.
But yeah, Zach is no longer simply Max and Nevaeh's victim. His actions are actively endangering the rest of the family.
Absolutely.
And so, like, while they're experiencing this group hallucination, their fears, distrust, and buried resentment begins blending with reality. Like,
Yep.
Natalie sees Zach acting in a disturbing and invasive way, which we've been talking about before since the
Yep.
first episode.
Absolutely.
Nevaeh also appears in Natalie's nightmares in the house. And like because Nevaeh has been secretly in the house, it's unclear whether everything Natalie experiences is actually hallucination. I think she was actually in the room.
Yeah.
But then like the show's aspect ratio gradually changes during the sequence, making the audience feel trapped inside the family's distorted experience. And like that was one of the coolest scenes of
That
the
was a
show.
good one. Yeah, that was a good one.
What we were cracking up during this.
Yeah, they were ridiculous. They were all high as shit. Yeah.
And then what happened after this?
So oh, I completely forgot. So they hear this noise and she's like, "What is that noise?" And they see a drone, a camera drone appears to be outside the house while they're all hallucinating. And Natalie goes and gets one of Tom's guns and she shoots it. She shoots the drone and it hits it, which like, come on, be so for real. Natalie's gonna hit that drone first shot. That was funny. So the scene is played partly as dark comedy, but it does expose a very serious problem. Tom's children can access his firearms just as easily as they can access his drugs. Tom's an idiot. I'm sorry. Oh, he's such an idiot. He frustrates the shit out of me.
Like they know the code to the weapon locker. They also
Like,
Like,
Hello?
where and then where's the LSD at that and
No,
Zach
he just
found
keeps
it?
it in his little baggie. He just keeps it in a little travel work baggie. Like, hello, you idiot. This is LSD. We're not talking about pot here, people. Um, so yeah, he doesn't Max doesn't have to supply the weapons to destroy this family. The Bowdens already have everything they need inside the house. They got a nice hefty family trip and guns. So that's crazy. Um, and then Natalie exposes her drinking problem. She feels completely isolated from her family after this, even more so after this. Her parents are monitoring her and treat her like a prison. They have all these tracking apps on her phone. They're watching her, and she can no longer trust Zack after what he did to Sophia because that really upset Natalie. She was like, "Why did you do that?" And his increasingly disturbing behavior. Despite being ordered to remain home, Natalie sneaks out. Not only does she sneak out, she buys alcohol from a convenience store and gets drunk alone during the day. Her drinking appears to become a very serious coping mechanism, which, a lot
It's
of us
bad.
have been there. I've been there. I've used alcohol to cope. It's a horrible time of your life. When you're out of it, you realize how terrible it is. Um, and as she's walking and drinking, drunk as shit, who's standing right there next to her? Max.
Yeah, but well, during like the podcaster comes in right up to her, and then that's when Max is like right there.
That's right. So now
Yeah.
we know this family is being chased down basically by like TMZ type
See,
people.
I love this because like now they're short because like podcasters exist. Hello. And like they're putting them into these stories that it makes sense because there's a lot of crime podcasters out there.
Absolutely.
You listen to a few of them, and like it's very real. So like a crime podcaster would be out there trying to get the
Absolutely.
information of this story.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
then Max comes in and like he gets her coffee to sober her up. He intervenes, gets the podcaster out of there.
Yeah.
And like the podcaster's like, oh shit, it's Max Cady.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And he buys Natalie coffee to sober her up, and then he takes her back to her house. But to Natalie, Max temporarily appears to be more understanding and protective than her own parents. But like this is when we get more manipulation, right? And then we turn over to Zach again because he has collected approximately 12 burner phones, and he has been communicating with Nevaeh through all of them.
Yep.
There's a hole inside his closet, and it gave him a direct connection to the space where she has been hiding, and he has been behaving increasingly like Max, including his unsettling smile, intense staring, and devotion to Max religions. So, like now we're getting it's getting more and more. Uh, so Max receives a letter from C, and she threatens to expose what Max previously did to her. And the episode now strongly suggests that Faith is Max's half sister. We're learning that C might actually be Faith, and her exact name and complete nature of their story history remain unclear. Now, Max's reactions show that she possesses information capable of threatening this plan. And then, after receiving the letter, Max called an older man, and we learned that it's Ron fucking Perlman, the great Ron Perlman. And Max orders the man to stop C from exposing him. And the conversations and their shared history strongly suggest that this man is Max and C's father. And so Max threatens him rather than treating him like a respected parent. But this episode heavily implies that Ron Perlman is the father, but the recap does not treat the relationship as formally confirmed yet. So there was some confusion in that.
Maybe like an adopted father or somebody who just raised him, maybe not his biological father, but there was
Yeah.
definitely he was involved with him when he was younger in his past.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then after the family comes down from the LSD, Anna and Tom go to visit Max in a new house. And Max has a new girlfriend named Honey, and he deliberately makes out with her in front of the house, in front of the Bowdens, right? So Max offers the family dinner, but they refuse to eat. And then they discover their missing cat at Max's house, Peanut Butter. And
I would have lost it.
what did he name the cat?
Oh shit, I forgot what he named the cat.
Um,
Oh man. He's even turned the cat against them.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the cat. He renamed the cat, and he's just like, well, he likes living here now, and like from here
Terrible.
in this moment, like, you know, Max demands at this point a complete and sincere public apology, and he wants them to admit everything they did to him. And that confession
Yeah.
would likely cause both Anna and Tom to lose their law licenses. And Max isn't asking for a private apology. He wants their reputations and careers destroyed. So then, like, he tells them this story about a boy who was tormented by a girl, and the girl eventually falls in love with him, giving the boy an opportunity to hurt her in return. And Max explains that the boy wanted to be paid in pain. And he says true revenge requires patience. But Max wants the Bowdens to experience a total loss of control. And he wants them to feel as powerless and alone as he did after nearly being killed in the prison.
Yeah.
And like this matters because like Max doesn't want a quick death or simple punishment. He wants the family to experience prolonged psychological suffering, you know? Um, do you think that he's talking about him and C, who is probably Faith?
Yeah. Maybe.
Very interesting. Next, Tom discovers a hidden the space. Now he finds the hole inside the house and he crawls through it. I would have never done that. And
It's crazy for that.
he falls through the floor into a secret room, and the room contains proof that Nevaeh has been living inside the walls and that she's been watching them the whole time and manipulating the family from inside their home. And then while he's in there, Nevaeh attacks Tom while he's inside the area. Now, what's funny about this is that Anna and the kids hear this happening. He's screaming,
Yeah. It's funny. It
screaming.
was a funny scene.
It was a funny scene. And like he goes like Anna like uses a hammer to like soften up the wall and he falls right through it. And he falls through it and like Anna's laughing because she thought it was a possum. And then like Nevaeh's arm comes out and grabs Anna, and then Nevaeh like grabs Anna. She starts choking Chom. Anna strikes her in the head with a can of blood red paint. Now that scene,
That was crazy. Yeah.
that shit looked like blood for a second, and it looked good. But then like she pulled like Anna and Tom pulled Nevaeh out of the wall as the paint splatters around them, and then a fucking fight just breaks off. Like they're going in. Nevaeh's like she's out for the count. She's weakened, you know. How long do you think she's been living there?
That's the question. Like, I think she's been there for a minute. She's been there for a hot minute. I'm thinking since the toe incident, she's probably been there
Damn.
because
Yeah,
she's
that
been
she's
so
been there
connected
at
with
least a
Zach.
few
I
weeks.
think so. Yeah.
There. And then while this is all going on, Zack steps through the spilled red paint, and because he is missing a toe, he leaves a recognizable 9-toe footprint trail with the paint, and it goes right into Max's house. And Zack appears to have chosen Max and Nevaeh over his own family. And,
That's daddy to Zach. That's it.
this episode like revealed exactly what Max means by making the Bowdens experience a total loss of control. Like their marriage is collapsing. Natalie is drinking. Zach drugged the family. There's weapons and drugs that are easily accessible. And Nevaeh has literally been living inside the fucking walls.
It's ridiculous.
Max wants more than an apology. He wants Anna and Tom to publicly confess what they did. We all want to know what they did. We still don't know what they did.
Yeah.
He wants them to surrender their careers and feel the same helplessness that he experienced in prison. And discovery of Nevaeh's hidden room proves that the Bowdens haven't had privacy or safety for a long time, like you theorize. So this is going to be very crazy. And now with episode 7, why don't you talk to us about what happened in episode 7? Because this is
Oh boy.
to be honest with you, I thought this was the last episode.
This was a very well done episode, I have to say. It's very
Yeah.
cringe. It keeps you cringe. So this one's called Mongrel. And this is Tom finds Zach with Max. He's now walked across the street. It begins immediately after Zach follows Nevaeh across the street. So Tom runs there. He goes into Max's house. He finds Zach calling Max his father. He said, "This is daddy, Tom. This is my daddy." Max tells Tom that Zach is no longer his son. So now Max is feeding into this. He's like, "Nope, he's mine." Tom loses control and brutally attacks Max. Again, falling right into his trap. It's exactly what Max wanted and expected. Max intentionally allows the beating to continue, and the neighbors are recording Tom attacking him as the police arrive. More video footage of these people doing violent crimes. So Max once again provokes Tom into committing violence while making himself look like the victim, and he
Now,
plays it
how does
so
that
well.
look? The guy that was putting you in jail is now being recorded in the street beating the shit out of you.
Beating the shit out of you. And Max
That
was taking it.
can I just say how grounded this feels, right? Because you have a situation where, like, because I was thinking that, like, maybe in some other world, the family would have shot themselves after the acid trip or during the acid trip, and that would have been the newspaper article. Family
Mhm.
of four kills each other after
Right.
LSD trip, which would probably be a crazy ending for the
That
show,
would be
right?
crazy. That would be crazy.
And now we have this other situation, which is another it's very like I feel like we're watching like a journalist perspective of what happened to Max Cady. Like, this is like a documentary without being a documentary, and the way that they're writing this, like, they're really making you feel like you're losing control with the Bowdens.
Yeah,
So go
absolutely.
go ahead, carry on.
So Zach was basically drugged and manipulated throughout this whole time because a doctor has now discovered that a high dose of motion sickness medication is in Zach's systems, which could make him extremely vulnerable and suggestible, which is exactly what's happening to him. It can also erase memories and potentially cause permanent psychosis, which we do see him in. He's in a permanent psychotic state.
It's
Um,
confirmed. It's confirmed. Cape Fear and Silo are connected universes.
yeah, the connected universe. Oh my God, seriously. But it all goes back to psychological warfare and manipulation. That's all it is. This does help explain Zach's bizarre behavior to an extent. To an extent, I still believe that religion has a big part of it, and belief that Max is his father. Max does deny giving Zach the medication. Of course, he would. He's not going to admit that with everything he's doing. And the episode really does strongly point towards Max and Nevaeh, but it doesn't definitively establish who administered every dose. Maybe a little bit here, a little bit there. I think Nevaeh is the prime distributor because she's actively in the house that's like right next to Zach's bedroom.
Almost like she's willing to get arrested too.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think she's gonna go all out. So, but the police still cannot hold Max responsible. Anna and Tom are telling the police all this. Even after Nevaeh is discovered living in the Bowden house, Max continues denying involvement. She's crazy. She's been writing to me in prison. Look at all these letters she sent to me. You see? Proof. I have proof. Proof. He's crazy. Tom's public assault makes him appear more dangerous than Max. And it really does. He was brutally beating him. The world, the
He
general
beat the
public,
shit out of him.
are like, this guy's beating an innocent man who they've already convicted and held in prison for 10 years. Like, what's going on here? It's really not looking good for Tom. The Bowdens believe that Max is responsible for drugging Zach, of course, but there's no evidence to prove it or connect him to it. So once again, Max creates chaos while remaining extremely difficult to prosecute. And think about it. He's going to be even harder to prosecute now until they prove that he actually belonged in prison the first time, because now he is looked at as a convicted felon who has an
Yeah, like a
overturned
martyr.
conviction, like a
Like a martyr
martyr.
for the prison system. Yeah.
Very much so. So you have to take into account they are going to also tread very lightly because they've already convicted him, and then he was wrongfully convicted once. So um, every time the Bowdens react emotionally, they make Max's legal position stronger, and that is true. So they decide the only way we're going to take him down is to frame him. Anna and Tom recover vials of motion sickness during the police failed to find, and they decide to plant the vials in Max's house. And they also plan to plant heroin. Let's just do a little bit of extra. And their goal was to
Let's
really
just
make
let's just be let's just continue to ruin our
just add
reputation.
it
Let's
on
just
because we're gonna get
continue.
caught. Their goal is basically to make an anonymous report and have Max sent back
I
to prison.
cannot I cannot see this show ending without them going to prison.
I can't either, or death. This would have to be a deliberate criminal act committed by two attorneys. So they're planning to recruit someone to do this planting. So Anna
And who
recruits
did they recruit?
her father, Anna's father, because what's Anna's father? A criminal, a convicted felon. So Anna clearly does not have a relationship with her father. She they manipulated this man into coming to their home to ask them to do this. So Anna and Tom don't believe that they can break into Max's house themselves, obviously. They recruit Anna's estranged father because he has the criminal past. And Anna's father has lived with untreated bipolar disorder. So this is something that's right in his wheelhouse. His behavior throughout Anna's childhood has caused lasting emotional damage, clearly. And he desperately wants another chance to be a part of her life. It seems like he has completely revamped his life. He's
Yeah,
on the right
he even
path.
says it. He says
He
it too.
says it. Yeah.
He
He
was
said,
like,
I
"I
just
work."
want to come see my grandkids.
He also made the mention. He was like, "This, I worked hard for this. I worked
Yeah,
hard to earn this." So he's really
absolutely.
reformed. Like he's
So,
really doing his best.
of course, Anna and Tom look at him still less than. You can see it in their face. They look at him less than, even though he's completely transformed his life. He's worked really hard. But she manipulates him. She's using her father's desire for reconciliation to involve him in a serious crime,
It's
which is
so evil.
horrible, horrible. Again, this is the episode that really had me thinking, who is worse? Who is worse in the situation? So Anna's difficult relationship with her father semi-revealed. Anna's father does admit that he wasn't a good parent. However, his apology does appear too simple compared with the damage that Anna's experienced. So maybe he was a drug addict, doesn't remember. No excuses. Maybe he doesn't remember the trauma he's caused Anna. That could be true as well. She clearly despises him and does not want him near her children. But she only accepts his condition because she needs him to enter Max's house. So the episode doesn't completely explain what happened during Anna's childhood, but again, the reaction indicates that there was something seriously happened to Anna in her childhood. And it just examines how parents pass their trauma and damage down to their children. Spend time with your children. Stop putting your trauma on your children. It affects people. Well, it doesn't matter how strong
Eh,
minded. She's a fucking
It's
lawyer, for
so,
Christ's
and
sakes.
this show is so grounded with that. It's so
So
grounded
grounded.
with that.
So now we're going back to the scene where Natalie is drunk. Max is giving her coffee. Max says, I can't take you home because I'm going on a road trip, but like, what do you want me to do? And she's like, I'm coming with you on this road trip. Don't know where you're going, but I'm
Which is
going with
so
you.
crazy. Oh my
Natalie,
god,
hello?
if you're my daughter, ooh, we locking away the key. We locking away the key.
We're gonna have some problems. So Max tells her, we're going hours away to Cape Fear. We're going on a trip.
It's
So
like if Family Guy, they said the name of the title.
they said the name of the title. So Max presents it as a visit to his parents. Natalie doesn't know. He is also searching for his sister Crystal. See, so Max relies on Natalie's anger towards her parents and her growing trust in him. And she does come off as like, I don't know, I don't want to talk to you. But then she's like, I want to tell you everything, and I want to hear everything. So Natalie's messed up. It appears that Natalie chooses to go with him instead of being physically forced. She's made this choice. He did tell her, again, manipulation, mind games. I don't think you should come. Like, you should go home. I'm going very far. Are you sure you want to do this? I'm not forcing you to do this, right? And she's like, nope, I want to do this. And the source of Max's cruelty really does become clearer, although his childhood does not excuse what he does as an adult. Clearly, some stuff has gone down in Max's childhood as well. And he explains that he was treated like an animal, that his father would force him to live inside a cage when he was a child. He would call him a mongrel. He would punish him for not speaking English. He's forced Max to perform tricks like a dog. And he's also a dog breeder. So he's got a lot of cages with dogs in it. And he's also physically abused Hester. So there's a lot going on there. The episode's title does refer to the dehumanizing name Max's father used against him, mongrel. But does understanding Max's childhood make him more sympathetic, or does it only explain how he learned to control and dehumanize others because he's been dehumanized so much of his life? So has the monster, created just a bigger monster? We don't know. Um, Hester mistakes Natalie for Anna. So Hester becomes confused and believes that Natalie is her mother, Anna Devereaux. She speaks about Anna's feelings for Max, and her comments suggest that Anna and Max had a relationship during the original trial. She said, "I know you." And Hester is the mom. Just so we can
Yeah,
clarify,
yeah.
Hester is Max's like mom. We don't know what
I
the
don't know
real
if it's a
relationship is.
mom or grandma, but I
Or
would assume
grandma.
that's the mom.
And she says, you were just ashamed. You were just ashamed to be seen with him. So you put him away so he couldn't tell what you did. And I believe those crazy people that talk like that because she was speaking some deep shit there. And Anna was looking shook. She was looking shook. So well, I'm sorry, Natalie was looking shook. Can you imagine if Anna was there, how shook she would look? And so now Natalie is really thinking like, I'm not my mom. I'm Natalie. I'm her daughter. So she's insisting. Natalie begins realizing that her parents have lied about much more than she's understood. How does your mommy know or grandmommy know my mom? And why would she say these things? Which really just brings Natalie even closer to Max. So Hester unintentionally gives Natalie another piece of truth about her biological father because now Natalie's like, who is my daddy? I have three people here. Who is my daddy? Um, so Natalie meets a strange boy named Luke over there, who's a freaking creep. Luke helps care for the um, the Katie's family dogs. And before he leaves, he asks her, "Can I kiss you?" He's very creepy about it. It's very uncomfortable. Natalie's clearly trying to, move away, so she runs back to the front. The interaction definitely adds another uncomfortable layer to the strange environment that Max's family is involved in. Hester's a little weird. Ron Perlman's character's weird. This guy, we got Luke acting weird. Just Natalie said two words to the guy, and he's like, "Can I kiss you, please?" There's some stuff going on there. So,
It's love at first sight,
is
right?
he another damaged child around the Katies? Is he going to be important? We don't know. So then we see Max open the trunk of his car and he's got a little paper bag with peaches in it and he injects something. He injects a tranquilizer in the peach to drug Natalie. So he gives Natalie the peach and it causes her to lose all consciousness. So it's unclear whether the tranquilizer was originally intended for Natalie or for Crystal. Because remember, he did not plan. This actually wasn't something that he planned for Natalie to come along. And in fact, he looked a little bothered at first by it, but ultimately said yes. So we don't know if that was, maybe it was in the heat of the moment. Maybe Max was actually trying to protect Natalie from Luke and Ron Perlman's character.
I I'm kind of
I don't
I'm
know.
on the fence about it. It's a weird
It's
thing.
a
It's a
weird
weird thing.
situation. Um, so maybe he planned to drug Natalie. Maybe he had changed his plans during the trip and then went back to it. But
It looks like kidnap now,
it
though.
looks like kidnapping. Yeah. So we're Anna's private investigator Ray. He finally
Oh,
recognized. Oh, sorry.
I want to bring up something too, because the reason why I was getting so confused about C or Crystal Katie, as we now know her to be, she was played by Juliette Lewis
Yep.
in the original film. So that's why I got
That's what
my
you're
nose
confusing.
my nose
Yeah.
got confused. So
Yeah.
my
Because she was in
apologies
both.
on that. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's Faith in the show, but Crystal Katie we have not met yet.
She just had to have
If
a piece of the pie.
yeah, but go
Yeah.
ahead. So yeah, Ray.
So Ray, who was Anna's private investigator, he told Anna, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. Gets an inkling and finally recognizes how dangerous Max is. He's now starting to see, oh shit, he's really destroying these people's lives. Noah also begins taking the threat more seriously. So Ray independently investigates Crystal, hoping that she can provide information that will help the Bowdens. So he tracks Crystal back to a boathouse, and Max learns the location from Hester and arrives shortly after. Because Ron Perlman's character, he does not want Max to see Crystal at all.
Yeah,
Which
and someone said that that she's over by the river or something like
Yeah,
that.
she's over down by the river. So he goes to the boathouse. And Ray's in there. Ray's actively leaving Crystal's boathouse. Max sees
He
him.
broke into it.
He broke into it. He did well, yeah, yes, he did break into it. He did break into it. Um, Max sees Ray leaving Crystal's boathouse, and the two have a very tense conversation. It's very light at first, but you can feel the tension between them. And Ray advises Max to release his anger and stop living in the past.
Yeah,
Just leave him alone.
I love this scene
Me
because
too.
Ray also is a reform is well not reformed. He was someone that was wrongly accused of a crime. So I really feel like that he's telling Max right there, like, look, we've been in the same boat.
Yep.
Just let it
Let
go.
it go.
You
Let
know,
it
and
go.
that moment right there, I just felt like, Ray really tried to like level with Max right there,
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
what happened?
So Ray's starting to walk away. He's like, All right, have a good day. Do what you're gonna do. And he sees Natalie unconscious in the front car. And now he's like, what the fuck is going on? Excuse my language, but what the fuck is going on? So, of course, once Max sees that Ray has now witnessed a kidnapping and drugging of Natalie, he shoots Ray to death. He kills him. He places Ray's body in the trunk, is what it looks like. And then the noise of the trunk closing wakes up Natalie. Max conceals what happened, and he just continues to manipulate her. The cycle just keeps going. This is one of Max's most direct present day murders committed to prevent Ray from exposing them. So up until now, we don't really see him killing and a lot.
No,
There's not a lot
this
of
is the
killing.
first
This is
one.
the first one. So this just goes to show he's got it in him. He's got that dog in him. He's gonna murder if he needs to murder. And in this situation, he felt the need to murder. So Natalie starts to learn some truth about her father because Max is repeatedly hinting that he and Anna had a relationship during his trial. Natalie asks him, "Did you have a relationship with my mother? Am I your daughter?" And Max is like, "Yeah, you are my daughter. You are my biological daughter." And this comes up about Hester's comments that supported the claim Anna was previously engaged to Paul, who was believed to be Natalie's biological father. But then Anna later left Paul for Tom, her former law school classmate, and the opposing counsel during Max Katie's trial. So
This is so
Max
saucy.
Max has confirmed,
It
nope,
is so
it
saucy.
ain't Daddy Tom, it ain't Daddy Paul, it's Daddy Max. I'm your daddy. So now Max has convinced Natalie, I'm your father. Zack is already like, Max is my daddy. So that happened. And it's important. Oh, we're gonna do an important correction to the earlier theory. So in episode 6 made it appear that Zack could be Max's son. Episode 7 confirms that it is actually Natalie who is Max's biological child.
I'm
Sorry
going to
for
be
the
honest
joke.
with you. I still don't believe. I still feel like the
I don't
timelines
know.
don't add up. But
Maybe that stole that baby. Maybe Zax is a stolen baby. I don't know.
yeah,
But yes. So did Anna know that Max was Natalie's father, or did she only suspect it? Who knows? I
I don't
don't
know.
know. We don't know. And then we get to the Cape Fear River baptism. So Max brings Natalie into the Cape Fear River, and he explains that his father forcibly baptized him there when he was a child. Max couldn't swim at the time, making the baptism another form of abuse. He basically waterboarded him during a baptism, sicko. Max lowers Natalie into the water and his own version of a baptism. And Natalie says she doesn't feel very different afterwards. And Max tells her that she's still the same person she's always been, but he did a little something on her. He did a little something on her. So Max presents the baptism as Natalie's accepting her true identity and connection to him. It's sick. It's sickening. It's nauseating. The whole episode, you're just at the edge because you just don't know. Is Max attempting to welcome Natalie into his family or just symbolically claiming ownership over her? Which, of course, just who knows? Who knows with the father thing, but definitely trying to gain ownership over her, I think is a fair assessment for Max, considering what we've seen. And then the murder
Yeah, and
weapon.
we also have to put into context that
Oh, yes, yes, yes. So
yeah, before the road trip,
before the road trip, Natalie packs her little baggie. And because guns are so easily accessible in the Bowden house, she decides to take a little hand pistol with her.
got a lot of guns
Got a
too,
lot of
by the
guns, a
way.
lot of guns, a lot of drugs. So when she puts her bag in the car initially, Max sees the gun inside. So he's already hyper aware that this girl's brought a gun and there's a gun inside her bag. And that is the gun that he's used to kill Ray. And while Natalie was sleeping, he put the gun back in Natalie's bag. So now Natalie secretly took the gun from Tom's safe that she took is now going back into the home that Ray was murdered with. So the murder weapon is in the Bowden home
Plenty of
with many
fingerprints.
fingerprints on it, to be fair. And the gun can now connect Tom's household and potentially Natalie to Ray's murder. And Natalie doesn't appear to understand what Max used it for. So that's great. And Max created just another potentially frame job. Yeah, the murder weapon belongs to the Bowden family. It was returned to their house with his daughter. Uh, it's all signs point to them, not to Max. Ray would have been the connecting piece that would have gotten Max, but Ray gone. So is Max planning to frame Tom, Natalie, or the entire Bowden family for Ray's murder? Of course he is. Of course
Absolutely.
he is. 100% he is. And there's a lot of major confirmed revelations in this episode. Max is Natalie's biological father. Crystal is Max's sister. Hester is Max's mother, and Ron Perlman's character is Max's abusive father. Max was caged, beaten, and called a mongrel as a child, and Zack was drugged with medication that made him highly suggestible. Max kills Ray after Ray discovers Natalie's unconscious in the car, and Max uses a gun taken from Tom's safe to commit the murder. And Anna and Tom are planning to frame Max by planting drugs in the house. And that is how it ends the episode. And you're
Yeah,
just at the edge of your seat.
yeah, and now this episode was truly about parents passing their damage down to their children.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that theme was so heavy here, and Max's father treated him like an animal. Max and Nevaeh drugged and manipulated Zack, and Anna's father traumatized her, and Anna has hidden Natalie's true parentage. But the biggest revelation is that Max, not Paul or Tom, is Natalie's biological father. I'll say my opinion on that last. But Max uses that truth to separate Natalie from the Bowdens and present himself as the only person being honest with her. At the same time, he murders Ray with Tom's gun and sends the weapon home with Natalie, potentially making his own daughter part of the crime. The biggest question moving forward is Max trying to recruit Natalie as his daughter now, sacrifice the Bowden family, or frame Natalie for the murder he just committed? So I have an opinion on this. So I've been really enjoying this show personally. I love how they're filming it. I love the story, but the revelation of Natalie being Max's daughter, I didn't get like that like shock factor from it, right? Like I don't think it was badly written, but I don't know. There was something about it that didn't sit right with me. Maybe it's because I believe that this is just another one of his manipulative tropes,
Yeah.
and maybe he's not really the father, but I don't know. That for the other than that, the rest of the show has been a chef's kiss.
Absolutely.
But something about that reveal does not make sense to me.
I think it's just manipulation. I actually don't believe that. I believe they may have had a relationship. I do not believe that Natalie is Max's daughter biologically. I think that there's just like I don't believe that Zach is Max's son biologically. I think there's just a lot of mental warfare going on there. She is more susceptible to manipulation than Zach is. Natalie is compromised and extremely vulnerable. So I think she's going to believe anything that's going to go against her parents because she's very angry at her parents right now. So I like what they're doing with that, but I don't believe that. I think that's just another trope.
I do agree. I do agree. But again, it's another great series, another great couple episodes that we were able to watch, and can't wait for the next few. And that's where we're leaving it for tonight. So, but the story is far from over. We've literally only scratched the surface of what's waiting for us in the final stretch of this season. Episodes 8, 9, and 10 are where everything seems like it's going to start coming together. Now, I'm assuming it goes up to 10, only because it's an Apple TV show. We're used to them doing 10
Right.
episodes. So I'm assuming that's the case. But the questions are getting bigger, the mysteries are getting deeper, and the moments that made this journey unforgettable finally get the spotlight that they deserve, right? Like we said, everything's going full circle. So I mean, hey, if you've been riding along with us since the beginning, don't go anywhere because literally the best is still ahead, guys. We're coming towards the end of this series, and this has been one of the coolest and most refreshing shows to watch on television right now. It's truly one of the top 10 for this year. For me, I don't know about for you.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
love it. It's great. Yeah,
but
I
I
love
am,
the original. I love this one.
yeah, this is good. This is good. But I'm clean.
I'm Frenchie.
And this is tuning into about reminding you to keep watching, keep listening, and most importantly, you always got to keep wondering what comes next. We will see you guys next time. And also, be ready because Silo's coming out soon too. So our Silo breakdowns will be coming out. We're more than excited for you guys to check that out. So up until next time, see you later.